Hello crafty friends and welcome to day 5 of my holiday card series for 2019. Today's card I am creating using these super cute images by Doodle Daisies and Ink, and I am super excited to start finally coloring them. This little boy is called Henry's Christmas and the little girl is Jen's Christmas. I made him look like like an older sibling or a bigger person, and then the girl is a little bit smaller. What I was thinking about doing with this card is creating a scene in the background, so you'll see in a second what I decided to do. I began by coloring the images using my Copic markers, and I'm using these are the skin tone set. I'm using it to color the hair and also to color their skin, and you can see here how I used a couple of different tones to kind of blend them in. But these images that I color, they're super small, so this panel that I created is a little bit smaller than an A2 size, which normally is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and it's just a little bit smaller than that. So I had to kind of work with, try to be careful not to get out of the line and everything with my markers. So I decided to go in and use pencils instead. I like to do this sometimes to go in and add a little bit of detail when coloring with alcohol markers, but when I did that, I decided that I was going to color the rest of the image with the markers instead, just to kind of be on the safe side and make sure that I didn't go out of the lines or do much of that. So here you can see I'm still trying to use all my alcohol markers. I'm going to zoom you in so you can see what I'm doing here with the eyes. Those are super cute little eyes, and I'm just trying to give a little bit more of detail to them. So I decided to give them green hazel eyes. So here I am using my Jelly Roll pens to add a little bit of color. So I used the black one to create the pupil, and then just using my white gel to create a little bit of highlights. Please excuse my hair there. I hope that you guys are enjoying this series. I know that right now it's a little bit late, later during the day, but I wanted to still share with you the card that I created. In the next few days, I'm probably not going to be doing a lot of videos. I am going to be on the go, so it's going to be a little hard for me to do that, but I will try to do as much as I can and share here. Now remember, I'm also participating in the coloring challenge for Kathy Recusian, the 30-day coloring challenge, which is almost coming to an end. I did take a couple of days of, days off from posting, but I didn't take the days off from coloring because I have been coloring and working on some projects, some that I did not want to share quite yet, but I will be sharing later on my Instagram. So anyway, that's what I'll be doing. So you can see here I am using a couple of different colors to add the texture to the images. So I am using two different greens, and then just to add a little bit of dimension or create a little bit of a shadow, I guess. But you can't really blend color pencils too much, so, or at least I'm not too comfortable with doing it yet. The more that you add, you just gotta make sure that you don't put the pencil too much or too strong, because then it gets this waxy feel that you're not going to be able to color. So when you're putting the color down, just make sure that you go very softly. As you can see, I am doing here with the first layer. On the second layer, then I go a little bit with a little bit darker color, and I do put a little bit more pressure on the coloring. I apologize, I was a little bit out of frame when coloring her little skirt, but no biggie. I was just adding a little bit of color, like I said. Color her little shoes black and his are brown. And then I decided that I was going to be using my Gamsol to blend them in, just because I wanted them to remain smooth, just like because I had started with my markers. And you can see here I started by blending in the lightest color and then going back with the darker ones, so that way I could keep using the same tip with the Gamsol that I already had. So here, once I had used the black one for her little shoes, I just grabbed my pencil sharpener to sharpen that little paper stump, so that way I can use a new one and start again. So I started by blending her sweater, and then going over to the different colors that are similar, so that way I don't cross contaminate any colors. But you can see here they look very smooth, so it's like I use markers for the whole thing, or if I decided to use the same medium for all of them. Now, for the background, this is when I printed the images. This is what I had in mind. I was planning to make it look like they are trimming the tree, and I wanted to make a tree on the background. Now, I don't have a large stamp that has a large tree like, for these. So I decided to go ahead and draw it with my markers. And you can see here, I'm just using a like feathering technique, just kind of going back and forth. Now my camera kept going out of focus, so I'm just using my VersaFine ink pad here just to kind of focus it a little bit, or maybe give it something to focus while I'm moving here, because I was kind of moving fast but at the same time wasn't. So here I am adding a little bit more of a different color, just to add a little bit of dimension to that tree, because I want it to look very, very fluffy. So I am using different colors here to kind of add the dimension and make it look like, like it's an actual tree and you can see the different layers. I was pretty pleased of how it was turning out, because as you can see, I'm not an expert, but I love how this was turning out. Now my camera kind of um, cut off a little bit, but all I did here just kind of add a little red blob on the bottom to kind of make it seem like the Christmas skirt, and it's a super big one all around the Christmas tree. Then I decided to go back with my marker and add some little ornaments there, because little Jen has a ornament that she's going to be putting on the tree, and I couldn't just leave the tree by itself with no ornament. So I'm randomly adding different colors of marker now, because I had already colored these and I didn't pre-plan it ahead. I couldn't do lighter colors, but I decided to use my blender and to kind of lift off a little bit of the color there. You can see I added a little bit of yellow, but you can't quite see it. So I did come back with my Jelly Roll pen, and I went and traced each one of those ornaments so that way you can see them a little bit better. Added some highlights with the white Jelly Roll pen all around. You can see here that it does add a little bit of I guess texture to it. You can see the dimension of the circles. And then I decided to make a background. So for the rest of the background, I wanted to make it look like it's a glass window, or like one of those glass walls. So I decided to go all around, but I wanted to make it look like there was kind of like a wooden frame around it. So I am just going here with the two different brown markers and just kind of blending it in. Once I was happy with how it was looking, then I came back in with one of my darker blue purple colors. I am going to be adding some color here, so I began by adding one layer of just a single color, and then I'll be coming back with one, kind of mixing it in with a different darker color, just to add a little bit more of dimension. Yeah, I guess in the end, my card ended up looking a little bit cartoony, but I still love how it looks, because I think it's super adorable. I like making little scenes like this, kind of starting from nothing, or just with a couple of images that you can stamp or print, like I did in this case, and then you just create your own background. Let your imagination go. So here you can see I've pretty much finished there, and just go back with a darker marker here. Again, I apologize for my camera not wanting to focus there. I didn't notice that before as I kept filming, but all I'm doing is just adding a little bit more color here to kind of create a little bit of dimension to those little frames for the window, I guess. So now I'm just trying to think what I'm going to do, and added a little bit more of the darker color on on some sections more than others. But you can see here that once I added that second layer, I really like how it started to look. So I just kept on going and added it onto the whole thing. This was a lot of fun to make, so I hope that you guys enjoyed this process video, and make sure that you guys go ahead and stop over by my blog, check it out, and also visit me on Instagram. Now, when you visit Doodle Daisies in Ink, I am going to be leaving a link below, so make sure that you guys visit the shop. Make sure that you use a coupon code DoodlesWin to get a free image when you purchase two of them. Now, here's my favorite part, is when you add a lot of snow. Just creating those little snowy backgrounds are super, super fun right now during the holiday season. So using my trusty Jelly Roll pen here to add all of those randomly. Yes, I'm not that fast. It is super sped up, but you guys get the gist. Anyway, I hope that you guys really enjoy this card, and like I said, make sure that you check Doodle Daisies ink and check out all the stamps. She has a lot of beautiful stamps, perfect for the holiday seasons right now, and I'm super excited to be sharing with you. Now, like I said, I probably won't be making a video again soon, but make sure that you visit me on Instagram, as I will be sharing some of the images I color and the things that I have. Now here, I decided to stamp the greeting directly onto the card. That was a little bit daring, but I did it. And then use a pattern paper to put it on the card. That pretty much completed it. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and I hope everybody has a nice and safe holiday. Like I said, I probably won't be able to talk to you guys soon, but hope everybody gets to enjoy their family time, and sending you lots of hugs. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.